Jaden Fielding, the sophomore, will send it away. Quinton Redding awaits near his own goal line. 55th meeting, Buckeyes, Gophers, and we're underway here in Columbus. And no return as the Gophers will start with the ball.
At times he's inaccurate. Of course, there's very little margin for error playing this Buckeye defense.
There's carry for Jordan Newman, and he picks up 2. Manis will roll and throw incomplete. Minnesota has struggled on 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 8. Pressure, steps up. Manis is tackled near the 30-yard line.
Maybe the sack numbers aren't impressive, but this defense is playing quality unit defense and getting off the field early.
Crawford to boot this one away from his own 17. Jaden Ballard with a fair catch, flag thrown, and here comes the call.
During the kick, holding number 15 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick.
Kyle McCord progressing. As you mentioned, Corey, he's played his best game against the Spartans last week.
Treveyon Henderson. Second level and more. Henderson tackled late out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
Provides a different dynamic for the Buckeye offense.
Second in the Big Ten in rushing yards per game.
Continuity has been their friend, and they've improved as the season went on.
On 2nd down at 6, Henderson, right side, lunging forward, has the first down out to the 41-yard line.
That's hurt their communication. It's hurt their experience, and they've been out of position.
First pass from McCord has time. Will swing it out to Henderson. Got by a man down the sideline. Harrison joins the backfield. Chip Trenum out of the pistol. His first touch today. He sheds a tackler. Running hard, the one-time linebacker picks up about 9. It's a gain of 10, so first down. P.J. Fleck was hoping that Ohio State would run the ball today. They've been doing that and picking up big yards. McCord zips it. That's caught near the 20-yard line by Cade Stover. Third most receiving yards by a tight end in program history. And now Trenum. Big gap up the middle. Trenum inside the 10-yard line. 7 plays so far, 6 first downs. We haven't seen 18 yet. Top of your screen, as Jake just noted. It's 1st and goal. It's a run. Henderson inside the 5. Touchdown, Ohio State. The Buckeyes making that look easy to start senior day here at the Shoe.
And he's proving why he is one of the best backs in college football. And the other guy with the streak is Marvin Harrison Jr., right? So check Treveyon Henderson. Keep our eyes on 18.
And Redding will signal for a fair catch. Guys, defense without Lathan Ransom and Mike Hall Jr. here today. Zach Evans, tailback, lines up behind Manis. Here's Evans. Nice cut. Second good cut, and then is tackled by J.T. Tuimoloau. He's out again with an injury today. On 2nd down at 4. Evans tries to bounce it outside. He does. Sonny Styles was grabbing at his jersey. Finally got him down, but a first down as Evans now is slow. Newman tries the middle, but then he finds the waiting arms of Jack Sawyer.
We've already seen how dangerous Ohio State's offense is, so Minnesota wants to just milk that play clock.
Newman up the middle. He's tackled by Jordan Hancock. Newman, right side, not happening. Cody Simon got there first, and Sawyer cleaned it up. Surprised that the Gophers, Jake, have thrown it only once so far. They've run 8 plays, 7 rushes, 1 pass.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm surprised too because they took the ball to start the game, Corey, after winning the toss.
Good punt. That's going to be down inside the 5-yard line. Did not have a single touch on the Buckeyes' first drive. We'll see if that changes here inside their own 5-yard line. Henderson up the middle.
Of those recent games that projected it throughout the season, those numbers are even more impressive.
Treveyon Jones, corner, lines up near him. Here's a toss to Henderson, and he's popped. Good tackle made by the redshirt freshman linebacker Tyler Stolsky. His first start of his career happening tonight with Cody Lindenberg out. And this will be a hold on Ohio State, the second Buckeye penalty here so far today.
he should certainly be there. If you're just looking at the numbers, they're impressive. He should be there anyways.
Ford from his own end zone. Nice fingertip catch made by Stover, his second catch. Big third down right now, Brooke from Minnesota. McCord pressured, throws high, incomplete. Jesse Merkel will punt this away from his own end zone, averaging 43 yards per punt. Redding back at his own 45. Redding with a fair catch. Let's see if the Gophers can do anything with this. Good field position. Khalid Manis will throw low, and that's a nice catch made. Newman finds Steel Chambers and company after a gain of 3. Chance for the Wildcats to grab a 7th win. They'll take on Illinois and Champaign next week. We'll be there for that. Pressure coming. Khalid Manis will throw. That's caught by Newman. He is flattened by Jack Sawyer. Steps up. Khalid Manis trying to shimmy and shake. He'll dive down near the 40-yard line.
So Jim Knowles, who's known for an aggressive defense, sometimes he uses the counter punch off that aggression, particularly this year, to stack the odds in his unit's favor.
So Crawford does punt.
They love to, they were on the left hash there. McCord feels very comfortable throwing to the wide side of the field when it's Marvin Harrison Jr. out past the numbers.
60th reception this season. Becca Buka with a low catch, and he's tackled by Jack Henderson. And around the 39-yard line. And that will likely be the final play of the opening quarter here in Columbus. Before Marvin, though, last week, who was the previous Buckeye, first 3 scores in a Big Ten game. The answer coming up.
There's a lot of names.
Great names, too. Take your
first-round talent.
Treveyon Henderson. He's shouldered down near the line to gain.
Michael Thomas.
Anderson leads his feet and will surge for the first down. Play action over the middle, in stride. It's Abuka. What a throw!
On where he needs to be to get the pass from McCord.
Fake the give to Johnson, and McCord throws, and a sliding attempt, and the officials conferring, and that is going to be deemed incomplete. Play action. McCord throws, incomplete.
You got one-on-one coverage, press man up top.
Pressure coming off the corner, and that was nearly intercepted by Danny Strigo. This will be the longest attempt from Jaden Fielding this year. His previous long attempt was 45. He missed it against Penn State. That's right down the middle, and that is good. In 2006 as a GA, in fact, the reason why P.J. Fleck wears a tie. Had a chance to work and learn from Jim Tressel, and also played for Mike Nolan. Those are the 2 guys he honors each and every Saturday. Down 10. Newman in the backfield. He is dropped for a loss. Newman's had a hard time getting going. Evans was running better until he had to leave with an injury. Khalid Manis hit as he throws. Incomplete. Looking for Daniel Jackson. Khalid Manis in the pocket. Time. Throws, and that's a first down to Cruz.
These snap counts, the game within the game. It looked like Sonny Styles was going to come into the box.
Newman for about 2. Buckeyes bring 4. Khalid Manis over the middle, throws low. That's caught by Nick Callerup. Redshirt senior tight end from Wayzata, Minnesota, outside the Twin Cities, and it's 3rd down.
He hit Callerup, but Jordan Newman, the running back, was on a check down out to the right. There was not a lot of red jerseys out to his right, but either way, it's a completion that gets you in a 3rd and manageable situation. Here's your guy to watch. That's Daniel Jackson. One-on-one coverage with Igbenogson at the bottom of your screen.
It's a run, and the Buckeyes were ready for that. Instead, Mark Crawford, 29-year-old Aussie, trying to pin Ohio State back, and that's caught by Ballard at around the 11-yard line.
So now you put a lot of pressure on your defense to get a stop and not let this game get out of hand early.
Fourth Buckeye drive, which begins inside its own 15-yard line. Henderson.
There's only one guy on that side of the field, and what you have is Darius Green leaking over top to try to help out.
Wally has Harrison again, and will hang on to that left leg and spin him down. 230-plus pounds, checks in, lined up to McCord's right. Instead, it's a quick flip to Ibuka, trying to get the corner. He'll have it, and more.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 5. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
McCord, pocket, throws, open, caught. Ibuka.
For an easy completion to Kyle McCord.
Fourth reception for Ibuka already. Henderson goes left. And Bryson comes in. Out of the pistol on second down. Henderson up the middle. And he has stood up about 2 yards shy of the first down after a gain of 4.
Favorable run numbers.
Quick flip to Ibuka. Bounces it outside. Inside the 10. First and goal, Ohio State. Fifth reception for Ibuka, already first and goal. Off play action, open over the middle, Stover and Treveyon Jones. Harrison top of the screen. Henderson. Not much there. Good contained that time by Minnesota. Chris Collins, number 13, eventually wrapped him up.
To try to disguise it, now Marvin Harrison, the inside receiver of the 3-by-1.
Freshman wideout Carnell Tate, bottom of your screen on third down. And incomplete, too high for Ibuka.
That time there, the ball just sailed on him a little bit.
Fielding from 26 is good. Buckeyes will get the ball first to begin the second half. Callie Manis with a pocket throws, and that's caught by Jackson. And he's wrestled down by Igbenogson. Rubin got away from Williams. Callie Manis will keep it and will have the first down. Good drop. Callie Manis throws high, but a nice catch made by Spencer. And then took a hit from Steele Chambers. Soda in no hurry. Callie Manis will fake the handoff. He'll take a chance and tipped in. The second deflection. Did Simon pull it down? Third down. No chance for Jackson. Fifth Gopher drive ends with the fifth punt from Crawford. Ballard, watch this one bounce inside the 5. Another great punt from Crawford. He's having a great night.
For Kyle McCord, you want to get that first down, get yourself some breathing room.
Henderson to the 6.
Surprised if they can get that first down, if Ryan Day doesn't go into attack mode.
Henderson tripped.
Ibuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. to the top of the formation.
Buckeyes 3 out of 6 on third down. It's a run with Henderson. First down. I don't see why they don't take a chance to try to move the ball, but that time McCord was pressured. 2 timeouts remaining. Second down and 15. McCord throws short, and that's caught by Stover. McCord pressured and sacked back at the 11-yard line. Jaw Joyner.
They haven't seized full control, and yet Minnesota also hasn't shown much offensively to give you, any of us, much hope that they're going to be able to turn this thing around.
Gone Kesich. Left-footed kicker. We'll send this one away. Xavier Johnson waits at his own goal line. And the Buckeyes will start from the 25. Something to follow as the game moves along here tonight. Treveyon Henderson bounces it outside. Henderson, off he goes. Third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. Henderson is gone. Touchdown, Ohio State. No flags.
He'll send it home from there.
Career long 75-yard touchdown run for Treveyon Henderson rushing. And no return.
Of course, now the strategy may have to change. You may need to load the box to stop the run.
Caligmanis steps up from behind, balls out on the ground, picked up by JTT off the strip sack. McCord, pocket, end zone, incomplete.
Now you got some space over there to work.
Trainum runs into the arms of Jalen Logan Redding.
In Minnesota, but a little bit of space down there.
Quick throw, it's Harrison on the slant. Touchdown, Ohio State.
There's really one-on-one coverage with Justin Wally. The safety was very late getting over there. He was late getting lined up.
27-0. 14 quick points for Ohio State here in this third quarter. And no return. Jordan Newman would run here for nearly 7. Caligmanis throws, and that's caught by Jackson from their own 40-yard line. Newman got away. Good drop, Caligmanis, and through the hands of Jackson. He's out. And the secondary even thinner now as Green is done for the night. On third down, Caligmanis, and that's picked off by Jordan Hancock. Hancock inside the 25, inside the 15.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on multiple players for posing.
Back out to the 29-yard line. Field position has completely switched here in the second half. McCord throws the other way and hits Henderson. Henderson 2 touchdowns already. And now Trainum sat the rest of the game. You wonder if Ohio State scores again if Ryan Day does something comparable but too high.
One-on-one for Marv.
Swing pass behind Trainum.
It can confuse the quarterback like it kind of did to Kyle McCord there.
2-yard try, Roman snap, Merkel hold, and fielding is 3 for 3.
Joshua Perry, a friend of the program, a former captain here for Ohio State. He's representing and is the face of the Ohio State side of this fundraiser.
Rice, he joined our crew this morning on BTN Tailgate. Nice of him to spend some time with Jake about his cause earlier. Big run here for Newman as the Gophers need some positivity offensively here. They get that as the longest play from scrimmage for Minnesota tonight. 21-yard gain. It's Newman again, but he is met by Williams, then spins. High snap. Handled by Caligmanis. In the pocket, and that's dropped, and that has happened far too often to that man right there. Brevin spanned forward.
Between Sonny Styles and the safeties versus the Michigan tight ends. A great pass there by Caligmanis, just a blatant drop.
P.J. Fleck all week long certainly talked about how drops have hurt his team offensively. Spanned forward, Altman Bell, a couple of drops last week. Corey Crooms as well. Dallin Hayden checks in at tailback. For the first time tonight, his third game all season long, and Hayden, number 5, runs into Jack Henderson. After a gain of 2, Hayden's name came up in our discussions with Ryan Day yesterday. Sophomore tailback from Memphis, Tennessee, his third game all season long. Remember, 4 is the number to keep in mind. You can keep your red shirt should you play in 4 or fewer games. And with Hayden getting a chance tonight, should he even play next week, no matter what happens in any following game, bowl game, Big Ten championship, that would not go against the 4. So he'd be able to maintain his redshirt season and not burn any eligibility. It's caught short of the first down by Carnell Tate, talented freshman wideout from Chicago. Marvin Harrison Jr. paid Tate a compliment beginning of the season, saying when it's all said and done, that man right there could be one of the best to ever come out of this program.
No pressure, though.
No pressure.
No pressure.
On third down, Fleming. And forward progress will give him the first down to the 27-28 yard line, a gain of 4, first down Ohio State.
You know, it's a really little thing. It's, of course, a 2-3 yard gain. Watch number 4 here at the top of your screen. And then there it is right there. What we call that working negative. Work back to the quarterback. Not just a 5-yard hitch and stop. Had Fleming not worked back to the quarterback, that play is batted down. And, you know, it's 4th down. But it's those little details, right? Of course, the athleticism, Ohio State's receiving core does everything right. It's those little details that separate them.
And even awareness, knowing what you need to get that first down. Hayden! First down out to the 43-yard line. Picks up 15.
Offense is starting to find their rhythm, and that's a great job there by, we're looking at the right tackle, Josh Fryer. You got your tight end, I believe that was Cade Stover, just creating a nice big hole for Hayden to run right up through.
Remember how beat up Ohio State was with its backfield last season. Well, Hayden last season, he had 3 100-yard games. Winning a 3-touchdown game against Maryland last season. He's upended by Treveyon Jones. Hayden slithers his way near the 50. And it'll be third down. Numbers for Ohio State. The balance has been there tonight. Passing yards down considerably here tonight. But the ground game was effective early, and it's been effective here in the second half. The cord throw slightly behind. The adjustment made by Fleming and a sliding catch and a first down inside the Minnesota 45.
Just about that balance to continue the conversation. That's Ryan Day as a play caller and an offensive mind. Not rigid in his belief, not saying we have to do this or we have to do this. He's looking at the defensive structure and attacking their weak points. Today, it's Minnesota in a lot of too-high shell. A lot of guys back to take away the deep pass, so Ryan Day's seeing that and has really emphasized the run.
Cord will keep it and dive. And it's second down after a gain of 1. So we've seen a lot of Dallin Hayden here on this drive. Marvin Harrison Jr. on the sideline right now. Wonder if his night is over.
Got a hunch I know where his mind is, their mind is.
Henderson with his helmet off. He's had a big night. All day. And that's caught by Patrick Gerd. First reception for the senior from nearby New Albany, Ohio. Came here as a walk-on. He's got ties here with Ohio State. His dad was a linebacker with the Buckeyes, late 80s, early 90s. Popular player in this program, getting a chance here on senior night, and a nice reception.
And a really nice job there, too. A couple great shots of Kyle McCord, just being patient and standing tall and strong in the pocket. No panic, working his progressions.
10th play of the drive. McCord throws, and that is caught by Xavier Johnson. His first reception tonight. Captain, 14-yard gain. His final game here. 6th-year senior at home. Nice look there. Clearly a catch. Hung on to it, tumbling down to the ground. Another good story. Guy that came here, arrived as a walk-on from Cincinnati. Under with the blocko. As a tribute to Bill Willis. Hayden again.
David Johnson's a guy, just keep your eyes on number 0 next week as well, and really down the stretch of the season, because he's so versatile. He adds such a unique dynamic. Maybe doesn't run or play exactly like a Deebo Samuel, but he's used within the offense like a Deebo Samuel. Sometimes he'll get carries. He'll line up in the slot. He'll line up outside. He's a Swiss Army knife, which is really useful for a guy like Ryan Day, who's so creative. If he can draw it up, Xavier Johnson can execute.
Hayden again. 70 seconds to go here in the third quarter. This was a 13-0 game at halftime, and then it took about 55 seconds for the Buckeyes to score twice. And Ryan Day and Ohio State leading 30-0. A time-consuming drive, more than 7 minutes. As the Buckeyes will head to the fourth quarter with a convincing lead. Pressure coming. McCord throws. Johnson cuts inside to the 5. First and goal, Ohio State.
Oh no. It's Tyler Nubin.
And Nubin is down. And look at the difference there. With him, without him. 166 yards a game, nearly 5 yards a carry. Long drive on first down. Inside the 2. That was Hayden. Sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. 6 career touchdowns. Henderson's night. Saw him plenty. He's done as he watches from the sidelines. Minnesota all night long has 6 first downs. This drive alone, Ohio State has 6. On second and goal, Hayden denied. Tyler Nubin, good to see him back out there, made the tackle for Minnesota. Great player.
They got Chip Traynham in the game here. Senior on senior day, and remember, converted fullback, converted linebacker, big body.
McCord will float this one. End zone caught. It's Stover. The 2-time captain. 16-play drive. It took over 9 minutes. As the two rivals meet again next week in Ann Arbor. There's 39 total yards this half for the Gophers as they start this drive from their own 25-yard line. Nubin trying to cut back, flag thrown.
Holding. Defense, number 93. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
This defense has stepped up. The question mark was, can you stop the explosive plays? Significantly improved in that sense. Okay, you're introducing a new quarterback, a couple new pieces on the O-line.
Nubin.
Seemingly a blend of the 2021 and the 2022 season. Both teams are rightfully two of the best in college football. Of course, with everything going on outside the game, this is really, I mean, it has the makings, many storylines, even beyond the excellence that both these teams have showcased on the field each Saturday. I just can't wait to watch.
Caligmanis sings this one, caught by Spencer into Ohio State territory near the 46-yard line. Gain of 8.
Where do you think, Corey, I mean, in terms of the rivalry, where does it stack up in rivalries in all of sports?
I think what's enhanced it even more is how much it has mattered. It hasn't just been, hey, it's Ohio State and Michigan meeting again with one team on the verge of doing something special, where the other team, when Ohio State was dominating Michigan year in, year out, there were times Michigan would enter that game with multiple losses.
Yeah.
But what's enhanced it even more is the winner of that game not only goes on to win the Big Ten championship, a chance to, but keeps their national championship hopes alive. And that's the same for the other team. And I think that's what's elevated and keeps that rivalry so fun, so captivating, more than just the average college football fan may say, okay, it's neat, Ohio State, Michigan, but when there's so much on the line, how that could impact the final prize, it draws even more eyes to it and enhances the experience even more.
Spot on.
Caligmanis kept that, and he is dropped back near the 48-yard line.
Do not think it could happen for Michigan, and the committee kind of communicated that.
Caligmanis throws, sliding, diving catch, nicely done by Jackson.
When the initial playoff rankings came out, the committee communicated how they value Ohio State's schedule. As we just proved this catch right here, really nice catch there by Daniel Jackson. But when the committee put Ohio State as the #1 team, they told us as fans that they carry a lot of weight for that victory over Notre Dame on the road earlier in the season. Of course, both teams have beat Penn State, but Ohio State has built that insurance because of the Notre Dame game.
Keeper for Caligmanis had to reach the 34, and that's where they're going to spot him and signal a first down.
And the other piece is, you know, if Ohio State were to lose a close game on the road, right, like that's understandable because of both the talent of both teams. If Michigan loses a close one at home, though, I just don't see. There's so many good teams, Washington and Oregon knocking right on the door, Texas, Alabama. There's so many good teams across the landscape of college football. I don't think Michigan has done enough with their schedule to lose that one and still get in.
On the boot for Caligmanis. And he'll hit Newman. And is wrapped up by Turner. Ryan Turner makes the stop. 8:40 and counting to play here in the fourth quarter. 37-0.
You know, Corey, I just think about, as we continue that conversation, the state of college football. I go back to the introduction of NIL, the transfer portal. And of course, everyone has opinions on everything, but there was a certain percentage of college football fans that said that was going to be the end of the purity of college football. And yet, for every reason we just discussed, I don't know that there's been a year with more parity than we've had this college football season.
Newman hit and slammed down in the backfield for a loss. Third down and 9 upcoming.
Ohio State's done a great job of stuffing the run. Linebacker run-throughs. That time, Gabe Powers.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's going to be the big story next week against Michigan. Obviously, what killed them last year, they played great football for almost 60 minutes. But it was a few plays that burned them defensively that was the difference when Michigan was here in Columbus and left with a victory last year.
Third down, Caligmanis trying to step up, and he is swarmed at the 36-yard line. Caden Curry out of Center Grove High School in Greenwood, Indiana, with the play.
It's as much a coverage sack as anything, right? There's Caligmanis was holding on to that ball for a long time. And Curry's eventually able to get home, and a good job too, because this is a real long field goal, and it's a point of pride for any defense to try to pitch a shutout.
John Kesich trying from 54 yards out. has a big leg, and he nailed it. Known as the Serbian Hammer. His 22nd made field goal. That leads the Big Ten. High school teammates, college teammates connecting yet again. 37-3 Buckeyes with 6:43 to go in the fourth quarter.
He did his job. He did his role. 67% completion rate, and really it's within the context of what Minnesota presented, which was a lot of too high shell, which meant Ryan Day had to run the ball.
This carry, speaking of running, for Evan Pryor. His fourth game of the season, junior from Cornelius, North Carolina. And there is Lincoln Kienholz, 6'2" freshman from Pierre, South Dakota. Just the second ever player from the state of South Dakota to sign with Ohio State. He'll flip it to Pryor. He'll cut back and dive down. Yeah, so Kienholz, the second ever player to sign with the Buckeyes from South Dakota. The prior, Grant Schmidt, in 2015. He transferred, though, without playing in a game. And we asked Ryan Day about Kienholz a bit yesterday. They watched some film on him. Great athlete, played all the sports in high school, but really popped on film. You just could see the talent, and that was visible when they began to really take a look at Kienholz. Pryor brought down by Jones.
For Kienholz too, right, Corey? It's just certain programs have their identity and their niche, and I don't want to limit any program when I say that, but Ohio State can't deny the fact that they have developed quarterbacks and wide receivers as well as anyone.
Yeah, that conversation, it looks like Ryan Day is saying, hey, take me through that. Take me through that third down throw, what you saw, and your decision. There's, you know, a head coach, freshman quarterback who's getting a chance to play. Devin Brown, he got nicked up during warm-ups last week. Gophers brought some pressure.
You're right, and it looked like he had a hitch on that one, so I think Ryan Day wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive.
For Michigan, Ohio State next week, and you can see that game on Fox with Gus, Joel, and Jenny next Saturday at noon Eastern from Ann Arbor. Callie McManus, long throw incomplete, intended for Jackson. Of course, see Michigan next week, but Minnesota will play Wisconsin next week for Paul Bunyan's Axe. Here's Sean Tyler. He's had issues hanging out in the football this season. He's wrapped up and tackled after a gain of about 1 by Taiwan Malone, and his third down. Minnesota with 5 wins. They'll need to defeat their rival in the Badgers next week. That game will be played in Minneapolis to be bowl eligible. Tyler, and he's popped. Big hit by C.J. Hicks. Sophomore linebacker lowered the boom, and it's fourth down. Wisconsin, Minnesota, both teams entering the week with 5 wins. Minnesota won back-to-back meetings for the first time since 93-94. Currently in Minneapolis, they showcase the Floyd of Rosedale. Beat Iowa earlier this year. They currently have the Axe. First time they've had both trophies at the same time since 1993. They'll need to beat Wisconsin to keep both in the Twin Cities next week.
As I said, Corey, the 6th win, the bowl game.
Fair catch at the 40-yard line.
Hurt this Buckeye defense at times last year, but significant improvement this year.
Pryor tumbles his way out to the 44.
He went from 48th in the country last year and giving up explosives to 4th in the country. And it's been a group effort across the board. You see the D-line having a disruptive day, forcing some turnovers. When the D-line's on fire, that means the secondary can step up. They can play a little bit more coverage. As you saw Jordan Hancock step in front of a throw there for an interception. But across the board, this unit has stepped up. I think Jim Knowles and Ryan Day, they had a conversation to say, as long as we don't give up those big, easy explosives, it's going to be really hard to drive the ball consistently against our 11 guys.
Final 2 minutes. Ryan Day and number 2 Ohio State will improve to 11-0, 8-0 in Big Ten play.
Can you feel it?
Oh yeah.
Can you feel it? The anticipation?
Keenholz swings it out. That's a first down. To Joe Royer. There's a senior getting a chance to make a play on senior night. This was a 13-0 game at halftime. And the defense for the Buckeyes, play after play, bringing pressure, forcing turnovers, and the Buckeyes capitalized to break it open.
Well, it all comes down to this. These two teams, Ohio State and Michigan, were set on a collision course all the way back to this past summer. Two of the best teams in college football, each held up their end of the bargain going into this game undefeated.
Pryor. And he's tackled by Coleman Bryson. And that'll be the final play of the game. Michigan won earlier. Buckeyes do the same here tonight. Ryan Day now 39-2 in Big Ten play in his 5th season as Ohio State's head coach. Ohio State, Michigan, with so much on the line coming up next week in Ann Arbor. 37-3 the final. Buckeyes prevail. Jake, some final thoughts from this convincing Ohio State win.
Not easy to do for anybody, but we did. We stayed in the moment and played well. But the minute we get into that locker room, it's on to the next week.
Over here to the right, Clay Hall, WSYX, and then Tim May.
That 1-minute sequence to start the second half turned the game, and was that the result of some comment at halftime?
Well, we wanted to win the first 5 minutes. We ended up scoring, I think, 14 in the first minute. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown. It's something that we talked about all year, is coming out in the second half and playing well. Every year you try to identify the areas that you want to improve on, and that was an area that we wanted to do a great job with. And so good to see us come out like that and gave us a little bit of a cushion, and then allowed us an opportunity to get some of those guys out of the game and rest it up for next week.
Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Ryan, in the last 2 weeks, you guys have nearly put up 1,000 total yards. Just what have you learned about Kyle the last 2 weeks that you think will benefit him going into?
Yeah, no, you can see him when he's on rhythm and making some big time reads down the field. I thought he threw some good balls today, and when he's playing situational football and his feet are in rhythm like that, you can see. I mean, we got the weapons and he's got the talent. So, it's all been a build up towards this week to go swing as hard as we can and play our tails off. And so I feel like we have all of our weapons here and healthy, and that's great. We'll get Tommy back for next week. Tommy was ready to play in this one, and I had to pull him back, and it was almost a fist fight, but I won. It took some I'll be honest, it took some late night texts last night he wanted to play, and this is a guy who has put so much into this program. Coming back, and for senior day, for him not to be out there was really hard for Tommy, really hard. But I just explained to him there's just too much on the line moving forward to risk any kind of setback, that we need him at his best. And he was, after some calming down, he was okay. But it was not easy for him to not play in this game, and that was my decision. He was ready to go. He pushed himself to get to a point, but he'll have another great week of practice and be at 100% going into next week.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, the podcast, and then Tim May.
Ryan, I'm sure you'll look more closely on film, but did you feel in the first half when you talk about Kyle's footwork, it seemed like maybe he wasn't in quite the same rhythm as he was a week ago? Did you have that sense at all in the first half with him?
I have to look at the film quickly. We're not going to really dive into this film all that much, but we are going to grade it and make sure we stay with our routine. I'll have to look at a couple of them. I know there were a couple that the looks were a little bit different than what we expected, and so in those moments, you got to keep your feet moving and move on to the next thing. So I think there was some good play, and then there was some things that we could probably scheme up better, and then also moving on from the first or second thing and try to find the next part of it.
Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch, and then Nathan Baird.
Ron, what's the challenge of the fine line between playing guys and taking them out so they don't get injured? And were you swallowing hard at the end of the first half when Kyle drops back and gets hit there and kind of gets up slowly?
It is you got to thread that needle. You do, and ultimately we have to win every game. So that's the number one goal. But you can't do anything anything less than 100%. I mean, when it's time to go, you got to go. And you certainly can't go in there and try not to get people hurt. It doesn't work that way. You got to go, and we did. We played hard. We played physical. But when we were able to come out in the second half and build a little bit of that cushion, it was good to get those guys out and get them some rest. And that was the ideal situation for us. Is that if we could get them out and not play a full game, it allowed us a little bit more rest heading into next week.
At the end of the half there, with the
I think we had 4 drives inside the 10 or so, and I guess we could have just jumped into a 2-minute and fired it down the field, but a tip ball or something goofy or a sack and the ball comes out, and all of a sudden you're into the fourth quarter, and I just felt like we had the ball coming out in the second half, so we ran it a few times. We got a first down, then we got the penalty, but even the third down, I should have just run it. I mean, I knew the crowd wouldn't be too fired up about it, but that's the job of the head coach, to just make the decision that's best for the team at that moment.